Do you know how many cases of aggravated assault are filed in a year? About 900,000. You know how many people get murdered in road rage or over words? Thousands. Thousands of people's moms, brothers, fathers, cousins, dead because someone couldn't control themselves. Anger is one of our most present emotions, as it is one of our most dangerous ones. Anger can leave you in a state where that innate sense of destruction in your brain is so loud it makes you feel it's the only way to go forward. Let me tell you a story. This is Richard. Richard is 16 years old and is doing life in maximum security prison on counts of assault, battery, and murder. Let's back up a little bit first. Context. Just 2 months ago, Richard was in school and was pretty regularly bullied by this kid named Jacob. And when I mean bullied, I mean stereotypically bullied. Like, Jacob would tell him to die, beat him up, shove him in lockers. He would give him swirlies. Yuck. Which brings me to my first point. What causes anger? I mean a little more generally than getting your head stuffed in a toilet, because the crash out is reasonable. Anger, from all the research I did, boils down to the lack of control you have and your ability to process your emotions. When you don't have control over something, you get angry because now your life is dictated by if the car in front of you wants to make a U-turn on a one-way road. Unfortunately, we can't control much. We can't control the wind, can't control rain, can't control who puts vinegar in your water when you turn around, can't control much at all. What we can control, however, is our emotions. Our emotions are a little stupid though, right? Man, this Jerry neck bum just bumped into me. I'm gonna break every bone in his freaking face. Now, Richard, for the most part, was actually pretty good at repressing his emotions. He never really outbursted at anybody or anything due to his bullying, which was good for him, until he was given the opportunity to. A man entered Richard's life named Mr. Khan, and Mr. Khan was the worst thing that could have ever happened to Richard. Now, Richard told Mr. Khan about the bullying and the lockers and Mr. Khan, who could be best described as a mentor, a father figure even, sold Richard a .45 caliber Magnum pistol with leather grip. He was a gun salesman. He owned a gun store. But most importantly, he's the most American guy named Khan the world had ever seen. Now, Mr. Khan gave this opportunity to Richard, hoping that if the time were to come, he would be able to defend himself. Richard, now finally having the opportunity to seize control of his life, was thinking what face Jacob was gonna make when he put an inch of lead down his forehead. Regaining control can be difficult. A man who can't control their emotions wants to control the situation, and they become weak. In order to gain control of your emotions, you gotta put yourself aside from that. Because if you let yourself marinate in what makes you angry, it's just gonna become a part of you. A very dark and depressing part you don't really want to talk about. You gotta tell yourself, you're not gonna let that become a part of me. Push it to the side, push it away, take a deep breath. It's a little too late for that for Richard though. The next day, Richard had a chip on his shoulder, knowing he finally had a way to fight back. Matter of fact, he was so confident, he started talking back to Jacob something crazy. He said, "Suck your mother, piss off, bum." Jacob was Caucasian white, but he was really feeling himself that day. And almost right as Richard wanted it to play out, Jacob said that he wanted to fight him after school. In a nice, dark alleyway, 6 o'clock. Richard was singing and dancing down the street walking home. He kept replaying how that moment would feel in his head when he finally did it. How ceremonious it would feel after all the torture and shoving and...
What? It's not working.
Oh, thank God. Okay, maybe if we could talk this out now.
No. Get down there and start gargling.
No.
He was finally gonna get back. Richard got there at 5:45. He was waiting. Jacob pulled up soon after. Richard wasted no time, immediately pulled it out on him. Nothing makes a man switch up more than a .45 caliber Magnum pistol pointed at your face with leather grip. As quickly as Jacob was planning on breaking Richard's jaw, he was sitting there begging for his life. This was everything Richard wanted, right? His enemy, the person that's caused him so much anguish and pain, kneeling down to him with tears in their eyes. It should have felt fulfilling, right? Richard, however, got an epiphany. For the first time in the entirety of their relationship, Richard saw humanity behind Jacob's eyes. A person, not an obstacle, not the ultimate evil, as he had tears running down his face, begging. A bit of empathy came over Richard. His gaze softened, his grip loosened, and he was gonna walk away. Jacob, however, made one fatal mistake. Jacob immediately charged at Richard for the gun. He wanted to knock it out of his hand and gain the advantage. In a panic, flashes went through Richard's head of every time Jacob had fought him or hurt him, and a quick burst of rage came through Richard's mind. Just intense enough to get him to lose himself. Richard jolted out the charge and... Was Richard a subject of his circumstance? Of course he was. Unfortunately, that's what anger is. It's not supposed to be comfortable. It's not supposed to be easy to handle it. Richard's story should have never gotten that far. He repressed his emotions for so long, and then finally, when given the chance, he went crazy. Now, Richard's fake. There are people with Richard's story that aren't. There's people that let one moment ruin the rest of their lives. And there's others that paid the ultimate price because of it. Don't let anger ruin your life. Have a good day.
The first day of school.
Today is gonna be a great day. Hey, what's up? The first day of school can mean a lot of things for a lot of people. For some, it's time to lock in, get good grades, get into a good college. For others, it's time to build the disparity of who goes to college and who doesn't. You know what I mean? Well, what I'm getting at is that people forget job openings at McDonald's are created by the minute. How should you feel about the first day of school? Do you hate it? Do you despise it? Or do you think it's okay? You'd imagine there's a relative sort of consistency in how everyone feels about it, right? Like, even what you see online, there's kind of a mental thought that's like, how does everyone else make this look so easy? They don't, by the way. A little spoiler. But before I answer any of those questions, let me ask you a question. Hey, is there a right way to feel about anything? Yeah. I know it sounds like a stupid question. Oh, something good happens to you, you're happy. If something bad happens to you, you're sad. But it's a little more complicated than that. Let me give you an example. Somebody you know dies. Tragic, right? It's sad. But what if I told you your relationship with this person is that they killed your mom or something? Because then you're pulling up to the funeral. I don't think there's a proper or at least objective way to feel about anything. I think context is what allows you to create a headspace and realize how something actually makes you feel. Oh, you don't believe me about that context thing? I got you. First day of school, pre-K. Now, when you're young, there's only one real group of people that you trust, and that's your family, because that's who you spent your entire existence up to that point around. So most kids aren't comfortable at all outside of that. Me especially, because even as a baby, I wasn't letting no stranger get their grubby little hands on me. So when I was told that I'm gonna have to go into a place where my family isn't, and I'm going to meet a whole bunch of people I don't know and have to interact with them for 8 hours, I was a little... Is upset the right word? I'm trying to remember. No, I was furious. So, when I get dropped off on the first day, I'm sitting there hugging my mom's, leg. Like my life depended on it. Like, don't leave me here. Don't leave me here, please. Eventually, she got free, though. Now, here's the thing. Babies aren't very articulate. They're not the best at saying what's on their mind. I was walking down that pre-K and I wasn't the only one. You could tell every kid in that room that went through the same thing as me, because they were all looking back at me like this too. Strangely enough for me as a kid though, some people were fine with it. They didn't complain, they didn't mean mug me, they looked at me with a smile and a wave. Ew. I'm joking, but eventually those people kind of rubbed off on me. One of the kids came up to me and were like, go, I got Pokemon. And then I was sold. And soon all the mean muggers followed suit. It really wasn't as bad as I made it out to be originally. Pix, what does that have to do with anything you were saying? Well, you see, I was trying to bring up the concept of context leading to anticipation and expectation, but some people, anticipation is the reason why you think things are going to go awfully. Anticipation can be good and bad in some situations, but let's go over the bad for now. Think of a roller coaster, right? There's a reason why there's not an elevator that goes up to the top and then just lets you drop off. The reason why is they want to build fear, they want to build that anticipation. As you're going up, you're sitting there thinking, oh, this is going to be the worst thing ever and I'm going to die, you know? I never noticed it before, but from afar, roller coasters look really goofy. When the actual drop comes, it's usually really not that bad. Like most people, you know, they're just chilling, relaxing. Some though, and that's the magic of anticipation. People going through the same thing can have wildly different experiences just because of how they think it's gonna play out. Nothing is more terrifying than your imagination. Sometimes it's hard to actually cling to what is. Let's flip the script. Let's go back to the funeral example. Now imagine everybody else at that funeral who didn't quite have the same experience with that guy that you did. They'd probably be pretty confused about why you're on his grave, which would lead to their expectations being broken. Expectations being broken is a very important thing, because that leads to people asking questions and finding out reality. And the reality of the situation is that guy's he's not really a good person. So now that we have all of that under, guys, let me tell you one more story. First day of school, 9th grade. So I was coming out of quarantine in this time, and it was weird, you know, everyone kind of got used to the socially awkward meta, where we would just act and move different, and it would just be okay because, you know, we have to stay inside. However, me and my colossal, expanding brain thought that going to a school with a much different reputation, because I was an introvert and I was friends with a lot of introverts, I thought that everybody else was going to be the same as me and I would just fit in perfectly and I would rise to the top and rule the school. It never works out that way. To keep a long story very short, I had a lot of lunches by myself. And I was confused, like I was doing everything in the cliff notes. I wrote it down. I pretty much perfected it. Is the socially awkward meta dead? It was. Kind of. Eventually, I found somebody that fit that description, that I fit in with because of those traits. But by then, I already kind of learned a very important lesson, and that's that you can't just assume people will like you, one. And two, you have to be able to accept and try to understand people that don't act like you. Everything that built up in the context surrounding it led up to that anticipation. And then, eventually, leads to reality, and that's how it always ends. You find out the actual truth of it all. Like, look, what I'm getting at is, just like everything, the first day of school is inevitable. So now there's two ways you could think about it. You could be sad about it, and have that expectation be broken one way or another, or maybe even fulfilled. Or, you could look at everything with a smile, you know? Say it's gonna be the best day of your life. Because in the end of the day, it's all the same, so why not just embrace reality with some teeth? Anyways, I think you're gonna need this. Straighten up, soldier. Have a good day. They start sprinting towards me in the middle of the hallway. Maybe they think I still got their vape. Maybe they just mad about it and want to get their anger out. Maybe they're trying to scare me. I don't know. But here's what I do know. If there's 3 people chasing you, run! I have almost gotten into 2 fights because of the stupid death rectangle, which is 3 more than it should be. The first time I was walking home from school in the 9th grade and run into this guy. Now I know I don't know this guy, but I know he goes to my school. So somehow, some way, we end up striking a conversation. And it was a good chat. I actually personally enjoyed it, right? Unfortunately, halfway through the conversation, he was getting a little distracted. Hey man, Miss Gail, man. She really be getting on my nerves, like I'm not really good at all this math stuff, you know. Like this is one teacher had. Her name was Miss Gail, right? Hey man, could you with the vape seems to be coming up a lot. What is? You want some? No, I'm good. I'm good. Bro, come on now. This flavor just came out. It is so good. Come on, you gotta try something. Let's like, come on. Not for real. You got. You have to. I'm good. Just do it for the one time. You're gonna get on my nerves. I grabbed his vape and threw it over the bridge. And now he's looking at me with anger in his eyes, like I just like killed his dog or something. But here's the thing, I was bigger than this guy. I think he realized that him getting his butt whooped over filtered air wasn't the best decision. Now, I'm not saying I would have killed him or anything if we got into a fight like the title suggests, but him jumping off the bridge to go get his vape back might have. Yeah, I know, with the polo shirt. I had a formal event to go to before recording this, cut me some slack. I can understand how you would vape because of an addiction, right? Like, I get it. Many people are addicted to many things, and this is just one of those things that are going to slowly kill you. Why is this one bothering me specifically? Good question. The reason why is because I don't think most of the people who vape quite know what they're inhaling, right? And maybe this is because vaping is more of a new thing. It's not that obvious, the negative effects it has on your life. So let's go over it. And if you don't vape, good job. Really proud of you. Please watch the end. And send it to someone who vapes. It'd really help me out. In the average air bar, there is nicotine, which causes gum damage, nausea, vomiting, and the crazy addiction that everyone seems to have over these stupid things. THC, which fries your brain cells and makes you high. Benzene, which is proven to cause cancer. Vitamin E acetate, which pretty much causes lung damage. Frickin' nickel and tin, like the things in the core of the earth. Acrolein, which can cause eye damage. Diacetyl, I promise you I'm gonna mispronounce at least two of these, just bear with me. Diacetyl, which will make your poison go down buttery smooth and ironically clog up your airways and arteries. And lastly, flavoring. All of that in this little itty bitty bar. Do you guys want to live past 30? Like, if you were blast proof, it would probably be healthier for you to swallow a frag grenade with the pin pulled out. Oh no, Fix, you goober, don't you realize I can quit whenever I want? No, you can't. Let me tell you why. Let's say you try to quit and prove me wrong. Let me take you through the process. Fail. Vaping has already become such a normal, commonplace thing that you start your day with it. Let's say you don't have that, though. Oh, then suddenly, you're going to start suffering from nicotine withdrawals. The irritation, eyes, nausea, and you see right on your table the answer to all your problems. Fail. Oh, you managed to resist? You go to school and your friends come up to you and show you this new flavor that came out and ask if you want a hit. Now you're anxious and irritated and dizzy and moving around, and one bad thing is gonna happen, and guess what? Fail. You can't quit whenever you want. And admitting that is the first step to saving your life. Hopefully those of you who are still here have the self-awareness to listen to what I'm saying. But now you're probably asking, well, Pix, how do I actually quit? Or you're still here to hear about that second fight, but we'll push that aside for a second. The only way to quit is to completely regress. That means move every vape from your house. Don't walk with enough money to buy a vape. Ignore and completely disassociate yourself with any person who tried to put you on or is trying to put you on. Stay focused. Mind you, it will suck. The nicotine withdrawals and all the other chemicals, there's a process to flushing poison out of your body. If you could overcome that, that's when you've earned the right to subscribe to my channel. You will be the victor. But I don't know. Pray about it. Read the Bible. Did I promise you a story? I think I did. Let's get to that. One day in high school, some guy really pissed me off. We're both sitting in class, chilling, and in the back of the class, I hear it. The teacher heard it too, so she starts walking towards this kid, right? And he looks at me, forces the vape kind of into my hand to like gesture to me to hide it, and moves away before I could argue with him about it. And now I'm not about to make a big scene about it because I don't want to get in trouble with people. I don't want to get in trouble with people thinking it's mine. So begrudgingly, I'm sitting there mad with some guy's blueberry vape in my pocket. I had an idea. Immediately after the teacher walked away and started talking about like geometry or whatever, I asked her to use the bathroom. I get up, still with this guy's vape in my pocket as I'm leaving the room. Oh no, the vape accidentally dropped in the toilet when I went to go use the bathroom. At least that's what I told him. I totally flushed that. I don't like people forcing me into things. Like maybe it's petty, maybe it's a little immature of me now with reflection, but I don't like people forcing me into things. I think that was unfair. He had to pay for that. Now he was mad, he was pressed, but I ignored him because he wasn't gonna make a scene about it in class, especially when he was this close to getting caught before. I thought that was the end of it, but no. At the end of the period, this guy's talking to his friends about the vape that I unintentionally destroyed, and I think they're all getting mad about it, but once again, I don't care. I'm walking past them until I hear them start to walk towards me and call my name, right? So now it's a problem. So now I'm like I'm speed walking to my next class, right? But they start moving faster too, right? Until they start sprinting towards me in the middle of the hallway. Maybe they think I still got their vape. Maybe they just mad about it and want to get their anger out. Maybe they're trying to scare me. I don't know. But here's what I do know. If there's 3 people chasing you, run! So I'm sprinting too, right? I go down the stairs. There's 3 people chasing me, running through crowds, pushing past people, calling my name out through the whole school. I'm sitting there thinking to myself, all of this over a stupid vape? Now you would think this would be some kind of like crazy chase scene, but like, look, 2 things we're ignoring here. Number 1, these people are smokers at the end of the day. They have the cardiovascular abilities of an anorexic sloth. And number 2, my class wasn't really that far away. I dusted those guys. I lost them almost immediately. I definitely lost a good bit of respect, though, from sprinting to my class in the hallway now that I think about it. So I'm a little mad about that. Either way, doesn't matter. Stop smoking. Stay alive. Have a good day.